Let me guess. You searched this video because you're a Muslim artist. Maybe you draw anime. Maybe you animate. Maybe you use Blender. Maybe you're learning game development. And one night, while doom-scrolling through Islamic videos, you heard a hadith that completely ruined your peace. The people who will receive the severest punishment on the day of resurrection will be the image makers. And suddenly your entire life starts flashing before your eyes. Wait, am I cooked? Should I delete my portfolio? Is my dream career haram? Have I been sinning this entire time? Then you open YouTube. One guy says, everything is haram. Another says, digital art is completely fine. Someone in the comments says, brother, uninstall Blender immediately. At this point, you're not seeking knowledge anymore. You're just confused. So let's actually answer the questions Muslim creatives have. No TikTok fatwas. No emotional manipulation. No, everything is halal. No, everything is haram. Let's start with the easiest one. Is all art haram? No. And this misconception needs to die immediately. Every major Sunni school agrees that creating things without souls is permissible. That means trees, mountains, rivers, landscapes, buildings, architecture, cars, weapons, environment art, UI design. Nobody is arguing that modeling a coconut tree in Blender is going to send you to hell. At the same time, scholars also agree on something else. Creating idols or statues intended for worship is prohibited. That was the original enemy, shirk. Taking something created and giving it the place only Allah deserves. So right away, two extremes collapse. Islam is not against all creativity. But Islam also isn't a religion that says, do whatever you want. The real debate starts with living beings. Which brings us to the question everybody actually clicked for. Is drawing anime or human characters haram? Short answer, it depends on which scholarly opinion you follow. And before you click off, hear me out. Because people online talk as if there has always been one clear answer. There hasn't. Hanbali scholars generally leaned stricter. Many Shafi'i scholars also leaned toward avoiding images of animate beings because of the severe warnings in the hadith. Hanafi scholars discussed exceptions and conditions, and Maliki scholars often treated flat, two-dimensional drawings differently from statues, which means this: if somebody tells you, every scholar agreed all drawings are haram, that's not true. If somebody tells you, every scholar agreed it's completely halal, also not true. But then comes a narration that makes everyone's brain explode, because the same Prophet, peace be upon him, whose hadith terrified artists, allowed something unexpected. Authentic narrations mention that Aisha played with dolls in the presence of the Prophet, peace be upon him, not secretly, not before Islam, in his presence. One narration even mentions a toy horse with wings. Now, think about that. And this exception became incredibly important, because many contemporary scholars later used it when discussing educational cartoons and children's animation. Which raises another question. If educational animation can be allowed, what about the rest of us? What about the artist making comics, the animator making stories, the game developer learning Blender? And this is where my own brain broke. Because many Muslim creatives ask a question that completely changes the discussion. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, actions are judged by intentions. So naturally, people ask, if I'm not trying to compete with Allah, if I'm not making idols, if I'm not creating something to be worshipped, then do these warnings apply to me in the exact same way? Because let's be honest, the Muslim teenager making an educational game isn't waking up thinking,
today I shall rival Allah.
The sister drawing manga because she loves storytelling isn't trying to replace Allah's creation. The animator teaching children how to pray isn't building idols. Their intentions are education, beauty, storytelling, halal alternatives, earning a living. And for many Muslims, this became one of the strongest arguments for permissibility. But stricter scholars pushed back. They said, good intentions don't automatically make prohibited things permissible. So maybe the real question isn't, can I draw? Maybe the question is this warning about the intention behind the act, or the act itself? And honestly, that's where this debate has lived for centuries. It completely broke the categories. So, what can Muslim creatives actually do? Can I be honest for a second? Videos like this take me days to make. The research, the scripting, the editing, making sure I don't misrepresent something as serious as Islam. And recently, YouTube just hasn't been pushing these videos the way it used to. I don't know how long I can keep making content like this if nobody sees it. I never ask for this, but if this channel genuinely helped you, use the hype feature. Not for me. For this channel. For this little family we've built here. Let's show YouTube that these conversations still matter. All right, let's continue. We've established one thing. This isn't a black and white issue. There are things scholars clearly agreed upon, things they clearly prohibited. And then there's the massive gray area where most Muslim creatives happen to live. So let's stop speaking in theories. Let's go through the actual scenarios, one by one. Can Muslims make cartoons? Educational cartoons? According to many contemporary scholars, yes. This is one of the strongest areas of permissibility because of the precedent of Aisha's dolls, the educational benefit, the need for halal alternatives, teaching children, salah, sarah, dua, Islamic values. Many scholars saw this as beneficial. Some stricter scholars still discouraged it. But if you're making Islamic educational content for children, you'll find many respected scholars allowing it. Entertainment cartoons? This is where disagreement returns. Strict scholars say no. The warnings regarding animate images remain. More moderate scholars say if the content itself is halal and free from immorality, then there is room for permissibility, which means a cartoon teaching kids kindness isn't viewed the same as a cartoon promoting nudity, shirk, or sinful behavior. Same medium, different message. Can Muslims draw anime? This is probably the question half of you clicked for. The honest answer depends. If you follow stricter opinions, no. Avoid drawing animate beings altogether. If you follow Maliki and many contemporary permissive opinions, yes, as long as the content itself isn't haram. No nudity, no sexualization, no mockery of religion, no promotion of sin. And then there's the middle group. People who draw faceless characters, remove eyes, remove detailed facial features, not because they lack skill, but because they want peace of mind. Which brings us to something that completely shattered my brain. Can Muslims use Blender? I genuinely think this is where the debate becomes fascinating, because classical scholars debated paintings, drawings, statues, but they never debated polygons. Imagine explaining Blender to a scholar from 500 years ago. So, I sculpt humans. Out of clay? No. Out of wood? No. What are they made of? Pixels. Can people touch them? No. Do they physically exist? No. Can they be worshipped? Not really. Congratulations. You've arrived at the Blender problem. Can Muslims make environments in Blender? Yes. This is probably the safest area. Things like buildings, landscapes, trees, weapons, vehicles, furniture, props, user interfaces, architecture. Practically nobody is arguing over these. So, if you're a Muslim 3D artist making environments, breathe. You're fine. Can Muslims make human characters in Blender? This is where the war starts. Strict scholars say, no. A 3D human resembles sculpture more closely than a flat drawing. The warnings should still apply. Others say, hold on. If digital 2D is permissible because it's ultimately pixels, then why would digital 3D suddenly become haram? A Blender character can't be touched, doesn't physically exist, isn't sitting in your room as a statue. It's data, light, math. And honestly, this was the point where my own brain broke. Because I asked myself, if I accept the reasoning that digital drawings can be permissible because of their nature, then why wouldn't that same reasoning extend to digital 3D? I personally found that argument very strong. But if someone chooses the stricter opinion out of caution for Allah, I genuinely respect that, because both sides are trying to honor Allah. They're just arriving at different conclusions. Can Muslims become game developers? Yes. This might be the biggest misconception of all. People hear this debate and conclude, I guess Muslims can't make games. No, that's not what the debate says. If you're an environment artist, yes. A level designer, yes. A UI designer, a sound designer, generally yes, with separate discussions around music. The biggest area of disagreement remains character creation. That's it, the answer. So, what should you do? After all this, you probably wanted me to say, brother, here's the fatwa. I can't. And honestly, neither should random people in YouTube comments. Choose environment art, architecture, props, landscapes, non-living subjects. Nobody serious disputes these. If you follow more moderate opinions, you may allow 2D drawings, anime, certain forms of animation, digital characters. But keep boundaries. No explicit haram. Because if you're watching this video, that clearly isn't you. You care. That's why you're here. So, is digital art haram? No, not categorically. Are some forms clearly prohibited? Yes. Are some forms clearly permissible? Yes. And do the exact dreams many Muslim creatives have happened to exist in areas of genuine scholarly disagreement? Also yes. So, seek knowledge. Follow the opinion you sincerely believe is strongest. And before I go, this channel has honestly been struggling recently. But conversations like this remind me why I started. To talk about the questions that keep Muslims awake at 2 a.m. So, if this video helped you, share it with at least 5 Muslim creatives who need to hear this. And if you're new here, subscribe. We've got a lot more uncomfortable conversations ahead. Assalamu alaikum.